Hi guys, this is Devang Maheshwari from Equialpha.com. If I say that tell me the equity market performance of India, I'm definitely sure you will go and look onto Nifty. If I ask you what's the equity market performance of USA, then you will probably look at Dow Jones or Nasdaq. So in every nation there is one index that represents the stock market performance of that entire nation. But what if I ask you a question? Question that if I want to know about the overall movement of the developing market, of the emerging markets, then how can I do that? How can I know that together all the emerging markets are growing or not? What's the single point that I can refer to for knowing the emerging market performance? That's what MSCI Emerging Market Index do. The MSCI Emerging Market Index has companies from 26 different emerging market nations like China, India, Pakistan, Brazil, Argentina and Colombia, and there are a lot of different emerging market countries from where the MSCI Emerging Market Index choose up companies, and together it tells us how the developing countries are growing, what's the growth rate of those developing countries, and as a cumulative, does the stock market of those emerging market index making up some money or not? So in this video we'll discuss four things. First, what is MSCI? Second, what is MSCI Emerging Market Index? Third, what's the constituents of MSCI Emerging Market Index? And the fourth one, how does these all even affect the Indian economy? So let's start. But before starting, just press the subscribe button and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you don't miss any updates. The first one is, what does MSCI means? MSCI stands for Morgan Stanley Capital International. It's an investment research firm that provides data regarding various stock indexes and provides investor related services like research services, analytical services to the investors across globe. But wait, what does indices even mean? Indices are made for tracking purposes. Like if I ask you what's the performance of Indian stock market, then you look upon the index which is called as Nifty, or you look upon the index which is called as Sensex. Likewise, there are different indices and all are made for different purposes. If you don't know about indices, why they are made, what's the importance of those indices, and why do people look onto indices, then you can check out the video in the above card about Nifty, indices, and together what does it mean. MSCI was formed in 1986 to give the investment research services to the investors, and they have a lot of equity indices, around 1,60,000 different equity indices. That's big, I know, but not all are that popular and not all are of relevance. The top 4 that are popular and the entire globe watches it are MSCI Emerging Market Index, MSCI Frontier Market Index, MSCI All Country Index, and the last one is MSCI EAFA Index. These all represent for different purposes and are for different geographies. Like Emerging Market Index, I told you it's around 26 different emerging nations. So all countries cover different geography. Frontier covers different geography. So each are made for different purposes. So that's what MSCI means. Now the second part, what does MSCI Emerging Market Index is? As I told you that it consists of 26 different emerging market nations across the globe. And since it has 26 different nations, it's very obvious that not each nation will have equal weight into that index. For example, India is performing better and it's a better economy than Pakistan. However, China is much ahead of India. So as per their importance, as per their relevance in the overall emerging market nations, they all have their respective weights, different weightages in the overall MSCI Emerging Market Index, so that for the investor who is inferring to that index, it makes sense for him also. So the different geographical distributions and weightage for each country stands like this. For China, it stands around 39%. For Taiwanese companies, stands at 13%. Then comes South Korea, which is around 11%. India at 9%. And Brazil, which is around 5%. So these are the different weight, and if you're looking onto it, the top 5 nations are contributing 78% to the overall index. The third one is MSCI Emerging Market Index constituents. So we looked upon different geographies, that what's the weight of different geographies as per their importance in the MSCI Emerging Market Index. Now let us look onto the companies that represent these countries. There are total 1404 companies that are present in this index. So you can assume and you can see that how in-depth the index is made, so that no step is left untouched. If you look upon the top 10 holdings of the index, you will find many big names like Alibaba, Tencent, Taiwanese Semiconductor. In the 7th place out of the top 10, you will find Reliance Industries. That's about the constituents. If you look upon, these constituents are not fixed, they get changed. The MSCI Emerging Market Index get reviewed semi-annually in May and November, and then they can change upon the weight as they fit into their regulations, as they fit into their rules for picking up companies. So that's how MSCI manages up its index so that it represents the new things that's going on into the market, and it is more diverted towards the mid cap and large cap companies. It doesn't have small cap companies with regard to it. Other companies apart from Reliance Industries that are into the MSCI Emerging Market Index are like L&T, Bajaj Finance, Divis Lab, Maruti Suzuki, etc, etc. The fourth point, why is MSCI Emerging Market Index so popular and how does it even affect India? For that, understand it that MSCI is a global level index, and many investors, many portfolio investors across the globe, like from USA, from United Kingdom, Egypt, all are watching this index, that what is the next stock that's coming into the index, which country MSCI is increasing up their weight. Understand this, if I'm an investor and I have a huge amount of money, I need to invest it in different geographies for getting the best. For wherever the growth rate will be highest, for me the better return on investment will be there, I'll invest my money into there. Now the problem is that I cannot track each nations. I cannot look upon which company is good in India, then which company is good in China, which company is growing good in Argentina, which company is growing good in Taiwan, which company is into Indonesia. So for all those reasons, I hire up MSCI, or I look upon MSCI reports, like which country's weight is increased, which company are likely to be included, which companies are likely to be excluded. So it acts like a benchmark for analyzing up the companies for a global investor. Since a lot of portfolio investors are watching this, a lot of retail investors, institutional investors are watching this, it is of high significance, because if a weight of, for example, India's weight is increased by 0.5% also, there will be billions of dollars that will be flowing into the market, that will be flowing up into the companies that are there in the MSCI Emerging Market Index. So that's why it's of importance. The second way to look onto is, it acts as a benchmark for comparing each nation from the overall emerging market nation. For example, how is India performing with regard to those 26 emerging market countries? How is China performing with regard to those 26 countries? How is Taiwan performing with regard to those 26 emerging countries? So that you can place your best bet around it. It's a means to compare up different markets at a single standpoint of view. And as I said, that money will flow upon to where high growth is coming upon. The emerging market who is growing the most, the money will flow, and MSCI is used as a filter for picking up stocks by various portfolio investors. So that's the importance of MSCI Emerging Market Index. So that was about MSCI Emerging Market Index and MSCI. Now if you want to know more such knowledge and you want to get more such information, that write down in the comment box and I'll make a video for you. Also, for continuous updates, please press the subscribe button and press the bell icon right now so that you don't miss any other updates. So thank you for watching. Devang Maheshwari.